the circumstances may be. Yeah, God is always there for me. Yeah, through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah, through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad, God is always there for me. I met this old man, he was so poor. He didn't hold a bed, so he slept on the floor. He's always smiling, I never heard him complain. He said, I've proven God again and again. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah, through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. No matter what the circumstances may be, no, God is always there for me. Yeah, through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times. Oh, there's not a broken vessel that God can't make. The thief was down to his last breath, hanging there and can't wait. When he turned to the master and said, Lord of mercy on me, he was just a broken vessel. Then Jesus washed away his sins, 'cause there's none a broken vessel that God can make. Oh, there's not a broken vessel God can't make. Yeah. When the whole world turns its back on you, Jesus will be your friend. He will pick up all the pieces, time and time again. 'Cause there's not a broken vessel that God can't make. Lord Almighty, Jesus sees the potter, and we are just the clay. And even when the vessel is broken, he won't throw the clay away. Bring him all of your borders, your troubles and your sin, 'cause there's not a broken vessel Almighty God can make. Yeah, yeah. There's not a broken vessel that God can make. Yeah, yeah. When the whole world turns its back on you, Jesus will always be your friend. He will pick up all the pieces, time and time again. 'Cause there's not a broken vessel that God can't make. Yeah, yeah. There's not a broken vessel that God can make. Yeah. When the whole world turns back on you, Jesus will always be your friend. He will pick up all the pieces, time and time again. 'Cause there's not a broken vessel, God. This whole sinful world, only a comfort I can't afford. Striving alone to face temptation, so where do I go but to my Lord? Where do I go? Where do I go? Seeking no refuge for my soul. Needing a friend to save me in bed. Where would I go but to my Lord? Life here is grand with friends I love so deep. Comfort I get from God's own words. Yet when I face the chilling hand of death, where would I go but to my Lord? Where do I go? Where do I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul. Needing a friend to guide me till the end. Where do I go but to my Lord? So, where do I go but to my Lord? Where do I go? Where do I go? I'm seeking a refuge for my soul. Needing a friend to save me in the end. Where do I go but to my Lord? I go, tell me where do There is no power on earth to separate me from your love, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from your.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, Hardware and Supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, Hardware and Supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Good afternoon to all my listeners and viewers. Welcome to Rebel Radio. Wednesday, yes, first day of April. And in Jamaica, we normally call this day All Fools Day. Wow, yes. Okay, we are going to start today's program by going over to Antigua and Barbuda. You know, we at Rebel Radio, we keep you informed about what is happening to our neighbors, because you must remember that we are one people. We in the Caribbean, one people. It doesn't matter if you're in Barbados, Antigua, St. Kitts, Jamaica, we are one people. And I have with me this afternoon to look at what is happening in Antigua, Miss Barbara Arindel. She's one of my colleagues, yes, member of this glorious profession called journalism. Mr. Arindel, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, how are you, sir?
Well, I am supposed to be okay.
That's no All Fools Day joke, right? I mean, it's All Fools Day throughout the Caribbean, I believe.
Okay. Yes. So, what are some of the big things happening in Antigua? What are the current things?
Well, I mean, we are now, our Prime Minister is supposed to possibly dissolve Parliament today. We are waiting to see if that's actually going to happen.
Yes.
And it's like making sure it's not an All Fools Day joke, but the last word was that on the 1st of April, Parliament might be dissolved, which would then mean that we're heading into a general election within 90 days. And based on what he said, he doesn't plan to have it stretched out that long. So within a month or so, who knows, we might be at the polls, but possibly by the end of the day, you may get some level of confirmation concerning that. So that, of course, would be the biggest news of the day if it actually happens.
Yes.
Following people, many of the Caribbean islands have had election recently.
Yes, yes.
So.
yes. We have had between so far 6 elections. So I see that will be 7th, and I see that elections are also about to be called in Bahamas. So
there we go. Yes.
Yes. So it's politics time. Yes. And
it is, and for us, it's not, we haven't quite, well, this particular leader has not at any point in time used his entire 5 years. So I don't really want to call it a snap election, but an election called long before it is constitutionally due once again.
Okay.
So we're really only 3 years in at this point in time, but that seems to have been the trend in some ways in many of the islands and territories.
Okay.
Some are saying that people want to secure, Barbados was not in any way close to their end of their term either.
Yes.
Many are suggesting that politics further afield may be influencing this. The leaders want to gain that 5-year mandate before who knows what happens around the world.
Yes, and we are living in troubled times. I must ask you, have you begun to, in Antigua, have you begun to feel the impact of the war on the price of oil?
We have on the price of everything, I would say, because of course, once you feel the difference in the price of oil, our government does some level of cushioning. And that goes in both directions. It means, of course, that, or stabilizing, I should say. Mm-hmm. So we don't necessarily feel the effects right away because they would have gained at some point, and so they can keep it steady for a bit. Mm. But the word is that within a short time, the price at the pump is likely to increase significantly, and for those people involved in shipping things, the shipping prices have already gone up. There's no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. They went up before, but in the last month or two, we're seeing that increase, and that automatically means that the price of everything just about increases.
Wow, yes, that is the troubling problem that we are faced globally, and in the Caribbean,
right.
all of us are facing those issues, right? But
because we import far more than we actually grow, is that right? I know that maybe Jamaica's a bit better than some of us in that regard, but we're still all importing a whole our shores rather than from within.
We are a huge importer of food in Jamaica also. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, we spend a lot of the amount of money that we are spending to import goods and services in Jamaica is much more than what we are earning from our exports. So we too are in a troubling situation. Yes.
We're all going to have to remember how to eat breadfruit and all the things that our grandparents survived on. I say that not in jest or to make light of the situation, but perhaps in some ways it's a wake-up call to remind us, that these things, we can grow them. Mm-hmm. We've chosen to some degree not to grow enough to feed ourselves, but when pushed in a certain situation, I have a feeling we're going to be no longer wasting the fruit that we often leave on the trees nowadays.
Certainly, Mom, you are correct. We in the Caribbean, we must start producing, eat more of what we are producing, and we must start to produce more of those locally the food. We must do that because we cannot rely on imports. We cannot at all.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also saw in the report where the Prime Minister won a lawsuit against that in relation to that yacht, that Alfanero, yes. So some.
Well, it is. I would say, to be cautiously, I don't know if the right term would be optimistic or not. This is a back and forth, and I don't believe it is in any way over. Mm-hmm. There's been constant wins and losses, and some of it would be smaller parts of a larger lawsuit. I can't tell you definitively what this one is, but quite often over the last couple of years since this drama has been unfolding, we've heard victory declared, and then we find out that it's only, one person trying to stop the other party from going forward with a particular aspect of the case,
Yes.
this thing. Locally, we have named or renamed the boat. The boat's name is Alpha Nero. We have renamed it Alpha Nah Go No Way. You know, and I'm sure our language is similar, right? So, Inago.
Okay, yes.
It's a recurring problem.
Just remind my listeners, Andrea, what is the population of Antigua and Barbuda?
Well, I want to say approximately a little over 100,000 people. We are in actual fact, I mean, in terms of things outstanding or happening in Antigua, there had been a census in 2025. In actual fact, it was called Census 2025, but it is nowhere near finished. It is still happening at this point in time. So, you know, hopefully in a couple of months I can give you a proper answer. We haven't had a full census in quite some time, but the approximate, many people will say more like 120,000, which really is just what? That's Montego Bay for you guys?
Yes. I know that the population there is much smaller than ours. But
well, we're 108 square miles. So Antigua is 108 square miles. Barbuda is 62 square miles. So, you know, in total 170 square miles, again, which is, you know, not even your town.
Yes. Now, as it really, we have an issue in the Caribbean, and that is what is happening to our young people. Now, in Antigua, what are the young people? What is being done to you know, get the young people on the forward boat in terms of training? Tell us what the government is doing to advance, you know, the young people in Antigua.
Well, before I go there, I feel I have to say to you that in terms of the young people, we are very, very concerned, as is everyone, but the concern right now is present, because just last week, within the last 7 days, not even a mile from where I live, 2 teenagers, I believe 16 and 17 years old, were killed by gun violence in the middle of the day, mid-morning.
Yes.
And it is said, it is believed that these things are gang related. We've had an uptick in gun violence in the country, and quite often one is believed to be retaliation for another and this sort of thing, which, I mean, we know throughout the Caribbean, yes, there have been gangs, and some places it's worse than others, but unfortunately, it feels as if we are on the spike where there's a lot going on. In actual fact, at some point a few years ago, when we had another spike, the Prime Minister said that he called together 2 of the gang leaders, I believe, and, you know, had a football match between the 2 groups, and tried to kind of declare a truce of some sort. He offered to get many of them into skills training. Again, this is all that was said. I cannot guarantee whether all of this actually happened, but I mean, and the sentiment is good in terms of, if it is that education is going to be the key and developing better skills, then yes, you go to where the problems are. But in terms of the follow through, you know, did these young men and women who signed up for these classes, did they follow through? Are they now masons and carpenters and other skilled plumbers, electricians making good money, possibly, you know, so they don't have to depend on the negative side of things? I can't guarantee that. And my understanding is that no, the follow-up has not been there, because we know it's not as simple as that, right? We recognize in any of these territories that our young people are at risk.
Yes.
Many of them are at risk for various reasons. It starts with the homes almost always, right? So poverty is not an easy thing to deal with. Some people are able to climb out of it, and quite often education is the key. Others find themselves in a cycle that's hard to break. And, you know, where even lack of home stability is a major issue. And same thing here, you know, particularly in areas where poverty continues to, you know, seeming to be a generational thing. And until we can find real ways. And one of the things that our governments, our politicians are accused of is giving a fish rather than teaching people how to fish.
Yes.
So this is election season. Already there's talk about what people can get, what people will get, who will get a stove, who will get a microwave, who will get a whatever. We don't need to go on the road as well. These things are legal in terms of, is this a bribe or not? We'll leave that up to the lawyers and others to talk about in terms of treating and bribing and all that. But undoubtedly, people will report, getting things, getting money even sometimes.
Yes.
And if you are somebody who, if you don't have a fridge or a stove and somebody comes and drops one off in your, in your house, you feel as if you've received something vital, and you have. But if you're not able to get this for yourself within the next 5 years, and they have to come and drop off one again, then have you really gained anything? Because you haven't gained independence, you haven't gained the ability to take care of yourself, which I think most human beings are striving towards, or I think should be striving towards. And, again, with our young people see this over and over, they then start to think this is how you accumulate what you need, by handouts and such things. And that cannot be a good thing for the next generation, for this generation, for the Caribbean in general. So that's one of the challenges I think that we face.
Yes, of course. And you mentioned earlier that there is an uptick in crime and violence, and that is an issue around the Caribbean. And what we find is that our young men, they are the main perpetrators, and they are among the victims of this crime and violence. So it is really a negative thing, and I can well imagine that it is a problem in your country as well as in other Caribbean countries.
It is.
Yes. So
and of course, people will wonder about the people who are deported from other countries and that sort of thing as well. We know that has an impact, or has had an impact, or in terms of people who have come from other countries, we can say that, think, oh, no problem. I mean, being deported from the U.S., some of them, people who left, whether it be Jamaica or Antigua as infants, and then having learned how to commit serious crimes in the U.S. or other places, they're being deported to us, and our police force can't quite handle it would seem. I'm not saying the police force somewhere else can either, but can we say they graduate beyond the capacity of our law enforcement? At least that's the way it seems sometimes. So there's no doubt about that being a challenge.
Yeah. Now, on the development side, what are some of what would you credit the government for in terms of development, over these years? For example, housing, schools, medical facilities. How has the government performed in those areas?
I think when you look at what the government tries to fix just before a general election, it gives you an idea of what maybe has not been happening properly, what's not been running well. And we right now have a major road resurfacing project going, and this is typical, unfortunately. For most of my life, elections coming along, that's when you're likely to get your road fixed. The potholes have been there for the last 3-4 years. All of a sudden, some truck is coming around, a roll or whatever it might be. And although there have been road projects throughout these last 3 years, it has not been as much as was promised. And with an election possibly looming, we're now seeing some of the areas that people complained about the most being resurfaced. And I use the word resurfaced rather than fixed, because in some cases, you're recognizing that it is just that. It's a surface look to make you feel better, to make the young people able to drive faster on the roads and possibly, cause other problems. But in terms of our roads lack proper drainage. And that's one of our big problems with Antigua and Barbuda. So you resurface it, it look nice, it feel nice for a while, but a heavy shower of rain comes and there's no drainage to take the water away from the road. So all of a sudden the problems you had before, they're back, right? So we look at roads. You asked me about healthcare. In the last years, our cancer center in Antigua and Barbuda was closed down for lack of funds. So the patients who have to get beyond basic care have to go to other places. Yeah. That's definitely not a good thing. Let's talk about it being reopened by a private doctor here, and the idea being that, I guess some people will be able to get healthcare free or a lower cost, hopefully, but that was a big negative, I will say, no doubt about that. We've also, in the last couple of months to years, we've seen a number of our clinics, infrastructural problems. We don't do a good job of maintaining things. So a clinic is built, maybe it was donated by some government somewhere or something like that. And instead of, having a crew on hand to check on various things, it's left to run down. And so we have a number of clinics that were either closed or relocated to areas that were not, or buildings that were not purpose-built, so they don't function as well as they should. Having said that, the government says, I believe again, as of today, a couple of our clinics that operate only during the day should be operating into the night as well, because no matter what, people get sick day or night. Yes, and our lone hospital has not been able to handle the volume of people. So the discussion is, and it's a good discussion, it's something that should happen, the discussion is that if we get some of our polyclinics opening into the night, then people may accept the healthcare, because on paper, and I'm going to say beyond just paper, but our basic healthcare system in Antigua and Barbuda is not bad. So people suffering from certain illnesses will get medication provided by our medical benefits scheme. There's certain things which are taken care of, and you can go to a clinic free of charge, that type of thing. So I say free of charge because we have a medical benefits amount taken out of our salaries. So it's a semi-insurance, but not quite a medical insurance that's there. But again, that is for basic things. What we find more and more is that tests that should be done for free or low cost at the hospital, the equipment isn't working, or they don't have the things needed to the reagents that they need to do certain tests. And so people are being sent to private clinics. Now, it's one thing if you can afford that, but the reality again is that we live in a society where there are many people who are living what we call here hand to mouth, right? And are simply not in a position to afford to go to private doctors and clinics. And really, what do? If the public system can't handle it, the only option really is not a good one.
Okay.
So we find ourselves with those problems where some people will say to you, and we have people coming from other countries who look at our system and say, well, why y'all can get free healthcare and that type of thing. And yes, but we also have to look at where we were at one point in time.
Yes.
And so our standard seems to have dropped in certain things. And again, Cancer Center was up and running for many, many years, and that's no longer available. People are traveling down to Colombia and to all sorts of other parts of the region to get care. The government may subsidize it sometimes, but the expense of having a family member with you to help take care of you and all of that, that comes into play. Education, that's a difficult one to talk about. We have free education right through to secondary school. So every child in Antigua and Barbuda up to the age of 16 has the opportunity for free education. Having said that, we also have many, many private schools, because for some, the standard may not be what they want for their children. I mean, people will use private things for various reasons, and that's their right. Yeah. But every child 16 and under has the the opportunity. Every parent has the opportunity to send their child straight through the fifth form, right?
Yes.
And again, that's not something that happens everywhere. But we do that. The question then comes down to sometimes the availability of teachers to staff the schools properly. And I use that word properly, so it means then that a child ends up in a school in one village area and there's no biology teacher for a few years, at that level. What if that child had intentions of going into an area that requires biology? So those are some of the challenges. Languages, we don't seem to see the importance of foreign languages. I'm going to say in the Caribbean, maybe I should just say Antigua and Barbuda, that's what I know, but I look beyond, and we don't seem to have yet grasped how important it is to be able to speak more than just what we speak in the yard and what we speak in the office,
Yes.
So often those teachers get cut as well.
And what about housing?
This government has spent quite a bit of time on housing projects, and they're usually referred to as affordable housing projects. So I think it's probably safe to say that our housing stock has improved, has increased, undoubtedly. Affordability sometimes can be questioned because, what is affordable, depending on who you are. So what sounds affordable to you may not be affordable to somebody else. We've had a few situations where there are some of our really impoverished areas which have been, land has been acquired from homeowners to develop it, and they've been, they've been resituated. That's caused some level of controversy. We shall continue to see. In those cases, they were often given homes that were seen as being better than where they lived before. But once you're taking up somebody from where they've always been, you're it's a disruption to your life and to what you're doing. There's always an argument on both sides about that. Do you leave people to live in squalor, or do you help them to find something that might be a bit better? But usually we see that when the help is offered, there's a reason for it. The land is wanted to develop it for some commercial purpose,
Yes.
So.
Well, I see. So you would say that Antigua and Barbuda, you would say that the lives of the ordinary citizen has improved, and you would describe the country as a progressive country where ordinary citizens, their lives are taken care of. You would say that?
I'm not sure I'd say all of that in that sort of blanket statement. I would say that we have been, for most of my life, a progressive country. We continue to work towards doing better. There have been times when the progress is not what we expect it to be, where our leaders are not putting emphasis where it's needed. So, we boast of an education system of 50 years ago that surpassed many other places in the Caribbean. The question then comes down to, if we are now perhaps on par, that means that we didn't do some growth, right? There was some growth that didn't happen.
Yes.
So the suggestion then would be that if we are on par, then why aren't we above par anymore? Have we fallen short somewhere along the way? If our medical system at one point in time offered us certain things that other places didn't offer, and now we find ourselves more lacking, is this progress now? Because nobody wants to stand still, right? You want the next generation, whether it be your children or grandchildren, I don't know, who you have, but you want to know that they are able to live more comfortably than you did. You want to know that if they go into this great profession that you're a part of, that they will, there will be certain protections and certain benefits that you may not have had.
Yes.
And so when we look at it from that perspective, I don't know if Antigua and Barbuda, we pronounce it Barbuda, Antigua and Barbuda, I don't know if we are seeing ourselves as progressing in all areas. So I mentioned housing. I believe we can comfortably say that there's an improvement in our housing stock. But in many other areas, we don't typically feel that it is. We feel that in terms of healthcare, those who can take care of themselves, they are those who need only the basic things. Those who need to go and get their blood pressure checked and their diabetes kept under control, they're going to be okay because our system takes care of that. But if you have some other problems that require some diagnosis and certain things, you may find yourself falling short. Somewhere in there, maybe the middle income people might be the ones in some ways feeling it because they have, but they don't have enough.
Okay.
If you understand?
All right.
Yeah.
We have to leave it there for today, but let us say to be continued. I want to thank you very much for your time today. And as I said at the start of the program, we are one people, so we will continue to have these discussions. Thanks very much, Barbara.
Absolutely my pleasure, and thank you so much as well. Okay. All the best.
Right. That was journalist Barbara Arindel there, keeping us abreast of what is happening in Antigua and Barbuda. Let us go for a break. This is Rebel Radio.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hard of the righteous, the hearts of men getting more and more vicious. Brutality is on the increase. Damn it. When the love of God sees no power on earth to separate me from Lord. Jesus, nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Father. This level of crime, only love love can eradicate. We must demand justice from the church and the state, and confess to God all our evil ways, and He will give us so much better days when we show love to each and every brother. Love will return to protect mother, daughter, sister. Let's hope in our heart to those who are in need, who never receive love. Come, let's sow some seed. No power on earth to separate me from love. Love my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Heavenly Father. No power on
earth. Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. And let us journey over to St. Elizabeth now. You know, that is one of the parishes that was badly affected by Hurricane Melissa. And as we speak, there are many people down in that parish who are still, you know, recovering. Things are not good for them at all. I have with me my colleague, David Satchwell, and he's a St. Elizabeth man. David, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Desmond. How are you doing? Good afternoon, dear listeners.
Yes, well, I'm supposed to be doing okay. Yes.
Let's keep it that way.
Yes, David. So I know that things. What is the latest? What is the latest from where you are in St. Elizabeth now? For example, the last time we spoke, and I have seen where the park in Black River has been cleaned up now. Am I right?
Well, the restoration working in terms of cleaning up of Black River has gone a far way, much further than when we spoke. I think. So that's a pleasing aspect. I think one of the issues now in respect to Black River is the lack of information as to the precise plans that the government have in terms of rebuilding the city, the township. And many business persons are sort of, weary as to what is going to happen. Some want to push ahead with restoration work and buildings, but they are not able to do so because they're not sure what is happening. Others are going ahead and doing some level of restoration. So, but the information flow to the business persons is inadequate, really. And, there's a growing suspicion that government has some plan and they don't want to share it with persons. But I'm not sure, but, we have to deal with that aspect of it.
Yeah, well, you know that the Prime Minister, and he has said this publicly, that the Prime Minister has some plans to make Black River into a third city. You know that?
The talk came about prior to election about a city in the general area in St. Elizabeth. I don't know if the precise areas were identified, but there's a view that some city will be built somewhere closer around the Black River. But the precise thing, I'm not aware what it will be. But there's a view.
Well, the hurricane has presented an opportunity for that because
absolutely
in the rebuilding process, one of the things that I know that must be done in the rebuilding process is some relocation, because it would make sense to build back the town where it was Because
yes, there's one.
Because we should be looking down the road. Then some of where buildings were in Black River, I am sure that looking down in the rebuilding process, those buildings should be removed further inland. So I expect some relocation to take place. But
I know there's one.
yeah, yes.
Yes, and I agree with you. There are some aspects of it that needs retuning, but the issue is, we just need to come clear to say exactly what it is, what can't go back, what we're going to move inland. We're hearing talks, all kinds of talks, but we're not sure exactly. But I agree with you. It's a grand opportunity, I think, for the government to move forward with the Black River development. There are certain things that are touted, and I think that is good for the development of the Black River. And in a strange way, out of bad can come good.
Yes.
But it should be all inclusive. The inclusivity, that must be a very critical aspect of it, and it must be respected.
Well, the last thing I heard from the Prime Minister was that he has given instructions. I think UDC is having discussions with landowners and other stakeholders as we speak. So I think that they are working on plans. But we should hear more about it in the coming months.
Well, definitely.
Yeah. Because, for example, the police station, the police are still operating from that station right now, right?
They are. They are.
Okay.
And I heard talk about the removal of the tax office. So, and all the government agencies that are within the reach of the...
And the hospital too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the court office, parish council, that aspect of it. I'm hearing those plans.
Yes. So we should see some new, or we should hear some more information as time goes by. In the meantime,
definitely.
One of the things that I know, and this has not, the media has not focused on this, that I know that many people in those parishes that were badly affected by the hurricane, Westmoreland and over St. Elizabeth, many people are still suffering. The people in the interlands, the deeper communities, I know that they are still, not receive benefits, and life must be tough, and many people right now.
Yes.
Yeah. For example, we were talking about Parati last week, and I recall that what the residents there were telling us was that most of the homes there are still, when you pass through, you see just tarpaulin. Most of them are still without roofs.
There's one, I recall the lady who spoke with us about the function that she attended, that was January 30, 2026.
Yes.
And she was one of those persons who were paraded that would be beneficiary. And that's 30th of January. February has passed, March has passed, that's 2 months. I can't recall exactly what was said. The Prime Minister said 50 had already received assistance. MLSS, Ministry of Labour and Social Security, digital voucher modality. In addition, 1,234 households are mostly senior citizens. And there were further 20 scheduled to get cards with disbursement today. That was the payment modality no activated. Government fully prepared to roll out the program across all damage category.
Yes.
That was January 30th. And we are still in hiccups. No, there are many persons who have received benefits, don't get me wrong. But to date, all those persons who have received messages and the text this month with misinformation, nobody can tell you how it was sent to them. And up to now, they have not been resolved.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a chaotic role of that program. Still no payment center in St. Elizabeth for the persons to receive less than $25,000. No payment center. Still, persons who have gone ahead to repair the house, this man don't know how they recoup that money, because what is being given is to collect material. He has spoken to person who would have bought a small loan, you know, and it's merely the hardware that is going to benefit, you know. Because many persons who have had these loans to pay back or have fished around and get some cash and have done what they did in expectance of getting back this money, they won't receive it. So if you come to me with a voucher,
what do you mean they won't receive it? If they were assessed?
Yes. But if this man, 5 months you couldn't be living in the open air, 5 months you couldn't be living under a tree, so you have had to do something to restore your family.
Yeah.
And if they have made that expenditure and expecting to get this money now to help pay back for what they have borrowed and things like that, it's not going to be forthcoming. So the hardware knowledge, man. If you get this voucher, I have the queue number, and you go into them, you already fix your house. People can just make bargain with the hardware and take what they can get. So you may have one for $200,000, but man, they may very well be decision give you $100,000, give me that, so. Because it better you get something than you get none at all. Because many persons would have restored their house because the children are living with them, the old person living with them, they had to live somewhere. The Prime Minister and the Minister wouldn't be living in an open house for 5 months. So why should that person be doing that? There are some very, very poor people and would be living in that conditions and desperate to come out.
Yeah.
They're going to need a little money to help somebody pay the bill for the person who's erecting the place. Where are they going to get it from? So that is the dilemma. I can tell you further down on that there are many persons who were supposedly assessed, and they have gotten text messages that and nobody's sure where it's coming from, that they don't qualify. I can tell you that directly. I spoke to the person just today, and what had happened that after the whole episode, they asked the person to come to a certain location, and assessment were done on site at the location. So there wasn't any personal visit to the homes, and as a result, no, they are saying that they're disqualified. I spoke to a person today in respect to that. So there's the whole program needs to be rehashed in terms of what has gone wrong. Who have gotten through already, that's good. But for some persons who have experienced like that, they need to revisit that. They need to find them and revisit that.
Yes. David, you remember that company? Slip me now, but you remember that company that had indicated that it would be, building some homes. I think it was in Parity. It was a construction company.
Yes, they did deliver this, man. They did deliver, and there was a suggestion that they would want to come back and build some more houses. And I'm not sure where that has reached. But we must remember this, man, that many organizations were the ones who assisted persons for the immediacy. There was no form of assistance from government for the immediacy. Yeah, houses, food, whatever it is. Government has been late on the draw. Yeah, but notwithstanding that, Desmond, there are many much gray areas to be ironed out. And people are thankful for what has been done, but something went wrong in the whole rollout program.
Yes. I understand what you're saying. And the people in the deep rural areas. Yes. Some of them might, some of those persons might have been, left out.
They have been left. Some have been left out, and some who think they have been included are finding out now that some process that didn't go through as should have, Because prior to the last phase of it, when the officers were going around and doing this investigation, person would have just given the information and submitted pictures. I am told that they have to have pictures pinned to certain location and they have to visit the house. And this was not done in desperation, so I'm not sure what is happening. And there's a very interesting scenario, Desmond, that persons are moving from cross parish. So if you live in St. Elizabeth, you can go to Westmoreland to get the benefit from selected place, and people from Westmoreland coming to St. Elizabeth. So I'm not sure how the thing was done, but it's chaotic.
But how I don't understand that, because if you were living in Westmoreland, that is where your house was damaged.
Yes, but to access the benefit, many persons have come to St. Elizabeth to hardware and things to access benefit. I'm not sure why it has happened like that. But the locations are given who are eligible, the hardware place, and people seem to be able to move from Manchester to St. Elizabeth or St. Elizabeth to Westmoreland. The coordination seems to be sloppy. Yes.
Well, that sounds strange. That sounds strange because, that I don't think that is supposed to work that way. Because you were living at.
But up to now, it's chaotic. But apparently, all the places that were named to be hardware to give out benefits, you can go anywhere from St. Elizabeth to Manchester to Westmoreland. I don't think there's a cap on it. I'm not sure how it is done. And up to now, the program has been rolled out, and the last time I heard that the minister said $8.some billion spent, and they haven't found a center in St. Elizabeth, not in one place that people can go and get the cash amount. So probably are forced to go to the hardware.
In St. Elizabeth?
In St. Elizabeth. Yes, in St. Elizabeth. Okay. Yeah. So, not sure. But people are putting themselves together and doing what they have to do, Desmond, and that depends entirely on the government. But I'm sure many are thankful for the fact that they have received benefits. I'm sure that. But the nature in which this rollout has come about is very confusing, very frustrating.
Do you know of any communities that are still without electricity?
Well, I understand that in the hills of Elizabeth, Northwest, areas are there that have not received electricity. In the party era also, some areas in the party era have not had a restoration of electricity. And you must understand that they were closer to the sea era. They call it seaside. That era is yet to get back their electricity. It was a grave damage in that era, man. So, it takes time. But the JPS persons are on the road, they have put up poles and they are putting up wires and things. So hopefully, in short order, that will be restored.
Okay. So David, tell me now, when was the last time you went to Black River? We know Black River was a sleepy town before, but describe Black River the last time you went there. What was happening?
Well, Black River is described as a sleepy town. That's the night aspect of it. But it's fairly quite busy and quite active during the days. The truth, businesses are slowly trying to put themselves back together, and life is going on. The economic reality is that it's a bit slow now, and you have to expect that. And the supermarkets and the pharmacy and a few stores have reopened, gas stations and things like that. As we spoke about, the hospital the restoration is ongoing through all the major ward, the hospital and the admin block. So they are pushing ahead in terms of the delivery of healthcare. You know, they are coping in sort of demanding circumstances. But life is going on in Black River. There's a clear buzz in Black River in the day, you know. But you would understand that most of those places that employ persons are not back up yet, so the sort of free flow in that area. But the police, the post office has returned to operation, I think about 2 weeks ago, and that is very good because many old poor persons have to be going to Santa Cruz. It was very difficult for them. But that has reopened about 2 weeks ago. So it is functioning now. But the tax office, I'm not sure what is happening. You still have to go to Santa Cruz to access that service.
And the municipality still up, they are in...
From Santa Cruz, yes, from Santa Cruz. Right. Yeah, they have a meeting from Santa Cruz.
But all the roads in Black River are cleared up now. And you see you can...
Yes, you can. Yes, however uncomfortable some areas are, you know, but you can access the whole area. I saw some road restoration being undertaken now, since over the weekend for some areas of the town, and hopefully, you know, that can be done in good time. The area to the hospital is probably very difficult, but, you know, things will take time, and hopefully, in short order, Blackwell will be putting itself back together.
Okay. So that is good news to know that people are, you know, pulling themselves up, you know, and getting their lives back in order, right?
There's some anxiety as it concerns with the rebuilding and refurbishing of the schools. Well, you know, that has been awaited.
Okay, yes. And we know that the farmers took a beating, but we know that they came out and are planting. They have taken on and they have been, you know, putting back food in the ground. So we are
telling the farmers are very resilient, Desmond. They're used to having challenges, and they're always facing with challenges, whether drought or severe weather. But they are planting back.
Yes, right. So we can expect that, you know, as I said, we are waiting to hear what are the rebuilding plans, and you know what changes will be made. We are awaiting that, and we hope that in the coming weeks that they will open some centers in Black River where victims can go to collect their benefits. So just hope.
I just think about that, Desmond. We have been having much rain for the last week and a half, and the worry about flood prone areas. As we speak, it's raining. And one of the problems is that after the passage of the hurricane, persons were allowed to mine the sand that came out, and there's worry now that the shore that they see, you know, is reached, and that we have some issues because persons they will abuse. Persons will just using excavator, mining sand, rolling truck on the beaches, you know.
Yes.
We have to be aware of the environmental impact.
Okay. Well, David, I want to thank you very much for your time, and let us hope that things turn out on a positive note so that the people in St. Elizabeth can, you know, restore their lives and get back on track. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the time, man.
Okay. That was journalist there, David Satchwell, keeping us abreast of what is happening in Black River. Let us take a break.
the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with your super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hard Heels. Can't even forget without you holding my hand. I thought number one would surely be me. I thought I could be what I wanted to be. I thought of myself as a mighty big man, but I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Thank you, Jesus. Can't even walk without you holding my hand. Mountains too high and the valley is too wide. Down on my knees, I've learned to stay. That I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Help me, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, I thank God I made Jesus my one and all. From now on this day, I'm surely gonna call. And if I don't trust Him, I'd be less than a man. 'Cause I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Lord, can't even walk without you holding my hand. Mountains too high and the valley is too wide. Down on my knees, I've learned to stay. Can't even walk without you holding my hand. Thank you, Jesus, for all you have done for me right now. You've been so good to me. I thought number one would surely be me. I thought I could be what I wanted to be. I thought of myself as a mighty big man, but I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Can't even walk without you holding my hand. The mountain is too high and the valley is too wide. Down on my knees, I've learned to stay. Can't even walk without you holding my hand. Lord have mercy. Can't even walk without you holding my hand. The mountains too high and the valley is too wide. Down on my knees, I've learned to stay. Can't even walk without you holding my hand.
You see, right now, I just got me a deal with that.
So what I want, my friend George Dix? Why, Richie Steven? When I say I did the almighty prison. And the best thing that, cause when I remember just where I am coming from to where I'm standing now, fell to my knees in praise of your name. Thanking you, Lord, every step of the way. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul, with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. No, I will never, ever leave you. I won't be ungrateful to you, my Lord. I know that this world is all in your hand. We are your children, and so we give you praise. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul, with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. Father, I love in so many ways. Oh, Lord. So when I remember just where I'm coming from, hey, to where I'm standing now, fell to my knees in praise of your name. Thanking you, Lord, every step of the way. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul, with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. Oh, I will never, ever leave you out. I won't be ungrateful to you, my Lord. I know that this world is all in your hands. We are your children, and so we give you praise. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul, with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many I've had many tears and sorrows, questions for tomorrow. There's been time I didn't know right from wrong, but in every situation, God gave me consolation. That my trials come to make me strong. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His words. I've been to lots of places, seen so many faces. There were times I felt so all alone, but in my lonely hours, those special hours, Jesus let me know to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His words. I thank God for the mountains, thank Him for the valleys, thank Him for the storms He brought me through. As if I didn't have problems, I wouldn't know that God could solve them. I wouldn't know what faith in God could do. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff that comfort me. Those wicked will come upon me to eat up my flesh. They will stumble and fall. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to put my trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to put my trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Trust in Jesus. Learn to trust in God. Through it all. Lord have mercy. God in the day is still God in the night. Life is easy when you're on top of the mountain. You've got peace of mind like you never know. Yeah, but things change when you're down in the valley. Don't lose faith, or you're never alone. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things goes wrong, He'll make them right. And God of the good times is still God in the bad times. God in the day is still God in the night. You talk of faith when you're on top of the mountain, but talk them easy when life at his best. But it's down in the valley of trials and temptation. That's when your faith is really put to the test. Lord of mercy, for the God of the mountain is still caught in the valley when things go wrong. He makes them right. Part of the good times is still caught in the bad times. But in the day, it's still caught in the night. But in the day, yeah, it's caught in the night. Lord of mercy, everything goes wrong. Make them cry. Yeah. Oh, Lord of mercy. Pardon the day. Pardon the night. All things are possible if you only believe. Sitting at home all alone, wondering what tomorrow may bring. He of little faith, dig deeper within. Healing the sick, he raised the dead, he walked on the sea. He worked miracles if you only believe. Only believe, only believe. All things are possible if you only believe. If you only believe. Lord, show me the way to do your will, and I will obey. I wanna be your servant. On my knees I pray. Lord, give me strength to carry on. Please lead the way, because I believe. Yes, I believe. Oh, I believe that all things are possible if you only believe. Only believe. Only believe. All things are possible if you only believe. Sitting at home all alone, wondering what tomorrow may bring. He of little faith, dig deeper within. Healing the sick, he raised the dead, he walked on the sea, he worked miracles if you only believe.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. And you know it's Wednesday, and at this time is when we deal with food security. And we in the Caribbean, we need to pay some attention to that. Yes. Good afternoon, my colleagues. Good afternoon, Dr. Thomas. Good afternoon, Sister Maureen. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Yes. 786745. Who is this person? Hello? Hello? Well, while we await on the others to join, probably we can just start, start the program. And one of the things that I know must be on our minds is about food security, because as we speak, we can anticipate that somebody there is disturbed. Somebody with I don't know who's this person on the show. I don't know this person at all. But Dr. Thomas and Sister Maureen, I see that Shiraz has joined us too. When what do you anticipate as a result of this war? Dr. Thomas, we can expect the movements in the price of fertilizers and agricultural inputs?
Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
So
the diesel oil on the have gone up. Wow.
Yes.
And that's just devastating, because already our farmers could barely meet their because of the cost of the inputs. Mm-hmm. They already had a challenge being competitive.
Yep.
So with this now, this just makes the situation, extremely challenging. I'm not sure how our farmers are going to cope, because they are not going to be able to be competitive.
Yes.
Nope.
No, that is a big issue, and therefore we can expect that our food import bill is going to go up.
Pleasant evening, everyone.
Yes, Shiraz, good afternoon. Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's after 5 years. Sorry about that.
Yes.
I want to get my two cents inside here. While we feel that the food prices will go up, we may have the money but no availability, because there was a protest in England today for fertilizer. So the thing about it is that you may have your money and you may not be able to get. And the few of us who will be planting and having our animals, we might have to, forgive me for my words that I'm going to use, we might have to get about 10 more pit bulls and about 2 other high-powered units to protect what we have.
So
because we already have a larceny problem, and we're not in a crisis. You know,
Yeah, that's
because
true.
unemployment is difficult. Unemployment is difficult. Hardships are facing people. What taking place in Venezuela? We have more Venezuelans coming into Trinidad right now. You know, we are faced with a situation where our colleagues in Cuba who could produce a lot more food because of their natural, they use a lot of natural and organic systems, right? With their grow houses and all of that are facing a tremendous difficulty where we could have probably worked with them, but we have some of Caribbean leaders decide to be antagonistic towards them. And all of that, when we're supposed to be trying to work together to face this crisis, because I'm not seeing an end to that very soon, you know. I'm not going to see an end to that crisis very soon. I'm not saying that because I'm a Muslim, but the thing about it is that what was going on in Palestine for such a long time that we were complaining about, it just getting more and more serious.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
But if you could remember, Mr. Desmond, when we first chat, this was some of my concerns from then to now, which was almost 2 years.
Yes.
You know?
I recall Shiraz. I recall. Yes. And another thing that, you know, Shiraz and colleagues, another thing that we, the farmers in the Caribbean, will have to look at, they will have to speed up the use of technology in farming, because, for example, right now in Jamaica, one of the issues facing our farmers is a labor crisis. Farmers in Jamaica have reported to me that they are having issues getting laborers to work on the farms. Right? And
it's not only labor, you know, it's not only labor, Desmond, quality labor. Labor of substance that it could really help you. Labor is available, but it's the quality of the labor.
No, but in our case, Shiraz, which is just getting labor, period. This has been going on now for almost 2 years.
Hold on a second, Sister Mary. There's some disturbance from this caller. Hello. 7826745. Who is this person?
Well, just mute her, Desmond.
Yes.
Mr. Desmond, just mute her.
Yes.
Just mute her. Yeah, until you clear it up, yeah.
Yes.
Let me just say one thing, right? The last time we met, remember I told you we have a problem with layer chicks, right? Right. Now, earlier on I mentioned about we assemble a chicken in Trinidad. Other Caribbean islands probably produce their own boilers, chicks and all of that, right?
Yes.
We assemble our chickens in Trinidad and Tobago. Remember when Ukraine and Russia started the war, grains become a little bit scarce and the price went up, right? Because 60% of the wheat come from Ukraine and Russia and some of the other European countries.
Right.
Now with the ship cannot come through the strait, what do you think is going to happen?
No, that is going to put some pressure. That is going to put some pressure on the farmers. It's going to become more difficult, right? But as I said, this is one of the issues facing our farmers. And, you know, for example, in Jamaica, and I suspect that this is also an issue in other Caribbean territories, that a number of, especially our small farmers, are on the, on the hillside. In other words, they are not on flat land that can use tractors and other implements to work on their farms, right? So, you know, they rely on manual labor to do the work, and this is a problem, right? So we are facing a crisis. Just hold it for me, please. Hold it while let us go for a break. We are on food security. Let's take a break.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, plastic tubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, insect and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hamilton Road. Telephone 93-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with your super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Yes, welcome back. Yes, we are on Rebel Radio talking about food, agriculture. Yes. Now, we have 4 of us around the program. Shiraz, did you get a chance to look at the Kafan Constitution?
I'm looking, but there are some things. Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, when you sent it there the second time around here, I started looking at it.
Yes.
I need to go into it a little more. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that I see that they're talking about membership.
Yes.
Right? Now, how to me, from what I am understanding, they did not have representative of countries members. They were looking for members from the country to join in. Mm-hmm. Right? I think we need to look at that very deeply, because remember, what we would like to do is, first of all, encourage all the agricultural societies around the Caribbean to be members.
Right.
Not their members to be members of the CAFAN, but organization.
Yes. I understand.
Right? So I think that's a strength. That is a strength rather than a weakness, because it will encourage member units to collate between the members and have a stronger organization.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, what we would want is farmers' organization around the Caribbean to be members of this organization. That's what you're saying, right?
Quite agree. I would like to see that happen rather than individuals.
Yes. Okay.
You know?
Yes. Dr. Thomas, what do you think of that?
I don't think I agree with that, but I will want to hear him flesh it out a little bit more as to the benefits that you derive from that, rather than having a superstructure of an organization which creates some bureaucracy and all those type of things. I don't.
Could I reply to Dr. Thomas?
Yes, of course.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Thomas, what I have realized with some of the organizations around the Caribbean, when you have individuals seek their own interests, whereas some of the individuals seek interests of others. But when you have an organization, that truly could unite and represent a body, probably not one organization, let's say like from Barbados, or not one organization, but if you have an agricultural society which act covers all farmers group, we could have one or two other farmers group, but we cannot have 100 people from Trinidad and Tobago joining CAFAN only to see what they could say about their own self. But if I personally, with all my experience in organization, even in Trinidad alone, the governments play organization against organization. For years, they play the pig farmers against the cattle farmers against the sheep and goat farmers. And I keep telling them, we are losing big time. And then the table egg farmers feel that they are more special to the others, and the poultry farmers feel they are special because they have a poultry farmers association, Caribbean poultry farmers. They don't represent the sheep and goat farmers or the cattle farmers. And they have access to quota and all of that, them kind of meetings, because they're structured differently. So I am saying is that probably the cattle farmers, the poultry farmers can come in into CAFAN like they are, but we try to get the other farmers to stay away from being victimized by the separate entity in each Caribbean state, like what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Because you go and tell the vegetable farmers that they get a 5-year lease. But when you come by me, I don't want a 5-year lease. I want a 30-year lease or a 25-year lease. Mm-hmm. But those farmers and them running to take that, and we not taking that, and it created a conflict of interest. But the Ministry of Agriculture and Minister of Agriculture encourages that. That is my simple explanation why I support my idea. But I am not saying I am not open for discussion and willing to change. Once we could prove that we could all get together and seek the interests of the farmers in the Caribbean.
Yes. Yes.
Sister Maureen, what? Sister Maureen.
Yes, I'm here. I thought Dr. Thomas was going to respond and say something.
Yes, right about that. You're right about that. But you can go ahead, Maureen.
No, you please go ahead first.
All right. Okay. Mr. Shiraz. Mr. Shiraz is a Shiraz wine. Anyway.
The finest. The finest. I don't drink alcohol. What is the finest? Gentlemen, could you give me half a minute to give you a joke about that wine?
No, wait. About 5 to 5.
So here what happening, right? I present my goat milk as goat milk better than Viagra.
Yes.
That is my punchline for my milk. Goat milk is better than Viagra.
Okay.
Oh.
So I don't drink alcohol. I'm a practicing Muslim. So a guy bring a bottle a day some years ago and tell me, hey, Shiraz, look at why name after you. I said, name, it have my name, it's not name after me. So I end up using that bottle to put some milk in the fridge to give somebody it. And I put the bottle lying on. You know, the next morning when I opened the fridge, the bottle was lying standing up.
Yeah.
It's better than Viagra.
Very funny, Shiraz. Very funny. Very funny.
Yeah, we need to have a little laugh with all the frustration around the world, right?
All right.
Just remember my first line.
Yeah, what I was saying, you see, is we have in the Caribbean CABA, the Caribbean Agribusiness Association, and we have CAFAN, okay? And if we are successful in putting together this one for the Caribbean farmers, okay, we are going to be competing with one another for the active site of the enzyme. So when I used to be a little bit more active in CARICOM affairs, through quoted. We used to have different organizations petitioning CARICOM through the quoted to give consideration to their plights and the type of assistance and the support that they can get for their products and for them to be marketed throughout the Caribbean in a manner consistent with the CS, Caribbean Single Market and Economy, CSME. We still have the rice people coming, and the rice people are saying something different from what Kaba is saying. At that time, Kafan may not have been in the main line at that time. But then you have another group of persons known as the poultry ones coming too. And everybody's competing for the active side of the
policymakers.
Of the CARICOM.
Of the policymakers.
How then? Yes. So how then? The policymakers and the officials who precede the policymakers at the discussions. How then are we, with this one that we are forming, are going to be any different? Remember, you have Kaba. Kaba has been there for a while.
Before we answer that, are the two organizations, CAFAN and the Caribbean Agribiz, are they still active?
Well, I'm not sure that Kaba is more active than the name that it may have there when CARICOM putting on their notifications.
And I thought Kafan sounded like it wasn't active.
Kafan is not active.
And Kafan is not active.
No. Those two organizations.
But the Poultry Association, the Caribbean Poultry Association is active.
Yes. Yes.
And the guy in the rice board.
But you see, Dr. Thomas, what I feel, my take on it is this: that what we want the farmers around the Caribbean to understand, that whether you are in poultry, beef, chicken, ground provisions, is that you are all in the business of producing food. And therefore, we should work towards improving the sector so that we can all benefit. Because what we would like to see is, for example, that the farmers in the Caribbean must be trading among themselves. So, for example, that market, that 50 million food market that is available in Bahamas, the Caribbean farmers should be more active in that market, looking to see what they can provide, whether it is chicken, eggs, grown provisions, whatever. So I am suggesting that what we need to do is to get the different farming groups to understand that we are not competing against each other. What we need to do is to enhance our interests so that we become more efficient in producing the goods that is required to strengthen food security in the Caribbean. Sister Maureen, what is your take? Sister Maureen?
So, I'm here. I just have a lot of noise around me.
Yeah.
So you've sort of outlined what is supposed to be the objective of the group, right? The objective of the group is basically that to put forward the position and the requirements, the needs, etc., the policies to move food security and agricultural production up several levels, right? I mean, that's what we want to address some of the challenges that are facing farmers in being able to produce efficiently, etc. So the question is, I'm a little bit hesitant also with just saying that the only organizations that exist can be part of that group, just from our experience in terms of how organizations sometimes function. Because we'll have organizations that in fact don't really represent in any true sense the persons that they are supposed to represent. So I would have a challenge if we just said solely organizations can join. I would see more of a sort of hybrid setting where you can, and it's a complex question, right? It's a complex decision. And as you go through the Kafan Constitution, you see some of the challenges there. But I mean, we would need to carefully define what individual membership would look like. Do we have subgroupings of membership? It's difficult, but because what we really want is we really want farmers who can play an active role, just like how you have Shiraz on, who is an existing farmer, to make his contribution. Now, do we want to hear the voice of a Shiraz directly, or we want him to come through an organization? And my thing is, we probably want to hear his voice directly. So I think we should be looking at different type of memberships and not just saying it's exclusive to existing organization. Some of them probably not even functioning, as I think, as Dr. Thomas said, beyond their name.
Well, okay, we can look into that. We can look at that too. Because what we want to represent the interests of the farmer, of our farmers. So we wouldn't want to shut out anybody. So we can look at that idea also, right?
Dr. Thomas, what do you think? You think different membership?
Maureen, you have articulated it quite well. Quite well. Those are my sentiments.
Okay.
But we're not making, Desmond, we're not, and I know I've been absent, because also, but we're not really making progress on this thing, and what I would suggest, not that I want to give myself work, you and I have gone through the entire document and the entire Kafan Constitution. We have done that. We have identified the areas that we think definitely need discussion and agreement among the group. Why don't we organize the discussion a little bit better, in the sense that we just ask, okay, everybody come with the document. We say in advance, these are the sections we're going to be dealing with, because you and I have gone through already and identified the critical areas, and then we take those sections at each of these meetings, if that's how you want to do it, because this approach is not really getting us to where we need to get to. So I'm willing to say for the next meeting, if I can, I'm having a problem with my drive, but you can resend me the document with our comments with our comments, Desmond, if I can't access mine. And we, Desmond, you and I can just take some time and identify 4 areas. We know membership is one critical one.
Yes.
Let's throw out there, let's summarize what the CAFAN agreement currently has in terms of membership, and then let's have a discussion around what we've started it here, but to finalize what we are proposing on that. Because the question is also in terms of geography, do you limit the amount coming from each country, or are you going to have a situation where one country sort of dominate? There are just so many different factors here that we need to think through. So if we come up with 2 or 3 sections, membership and 1 or 2, and say, okay, for the next meeting, these are the ones that we're going to look at, and then let's send that out in advance, and then let's just say to everybody, come on, if you're very serious about this thing, we got to get moving. We can't keep talking like every other organization in the Caribbean. All we do is talk, and at the end of the day, nothing really happens. We need to start having something now, because the year will end and we still haven't reached anywhere yet. Okay. So that would be my proposal.
Well,
I think that's a wonderful proposal. I support that.
Me too.
Yeah. Well,
Me too.
Well, Sister Maureen, let us do that.
Yes.
Let us do that. So
yeah, let us do. Yeah.
After the program, you and I will link up, and then we will.
Yes.
Do as you say. Because
right. So the next meeting.
I am in agreement with you that we are, because today we are in April now. The first quarter.
Yes.
First quarter of 26 has passed. We're in the second quarter.
Right. And what you're going. Yes, unless people are going to pass it because they're going to feel it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's going to happen, that people are going to lose interest.
Yes.
So we need to really start moving.
All right. I am in agreement with you.
I appreciate that effort, because I was here for a whole month because of religious commitment.
Yeah.
But I'm here now.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Listen to the one with the religious commitment after that joke that you just told, and about your bottle.
Can you imagine?
That is not that is very important in life.
Oh boy.
You know what people I help at the end of the day, Marine? Everybody, when I do a radio program and I make sure I put that in goat milk better than Viagra, I get a lot more calls the next day.
All right.
I have said this on the program. I am going to say it again, that I want each of us to make contacts with other Caribbean farmers and farmers organizations. So if you know farmers in Barbados, wherever they are, let us make contact with them and get them to join up with us. I have been trying to locate farmers and farmers group in Guyana and Suriname. I have not nailed them down as yet. So if you have contacts and as you know anybody, let us make contact with them and get them to join up with us.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Yes. And because, for example, one of the things that we should be doing is to encourage our farmers to get active, to try and participate, to gain access to the Bahamas market, and to find out what we can supply the market with.
Because right now, you know, Desmond, I understand, I think it's onions, and Dr. Thomas might know better, that we're seeing excess capacity. I understand, because imports and blah, blah, blah.
When you say it right out of my mouth, take it right out of my mouth. I was about to mention it to that part of the program, because it is bad.
Exactly.
So we should make that connection right away with I forgot the person's name from the Bahamas to say there's this excess capacity because
yes.
Yeah, God, right.
Yes.
We need to do that because Dr. Thomas, you're on the ground, so you know better. I'm just hearing from different places, but you would know the reality better.
Yeah, because the people may have granted license to import onions, and they have multiple entry permits.
Exactly.
And the multiple entry permits, they allow them to come in anytime. And the harvesting time for especially the St. Thomas farmers.
Exactly.
Seeing the imported ones in the market to compete with them at this point, to the point where people are not buying from them.
Exactly.
And they have storage problem because they are not big enough to afford storage.
Precisely. Yeah, that's what I understand. And we keep talking about storage. All the governments, whichever one, keep talking about storage. We have not effectively put any real storage things in place. So we have this issue with onions. We have the issue with potatoes when the potatoes come out. I mean, it's just talk, but we have to do something about it.
Yeah.
Because you just get all of this waste.
Yes, of course.
You know?
And the
farmers can least afford it now with the cost of things.
Yes. That is a big issue facing our farmers. A big issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as you mentioned, Sister Maureen, we have to just change our strategy so that we can stop. In other words, we have to now just shift, reduce the talking and get some action, because you know, as time is not standing by waiting on us, time is moving.
Right, because if we're in place now, we'd be lobbying for those farmers in St. Thomas.
Yes,
that's correct.
If an organization existed, we'd be lobbying for them and trying to help them to move the things to the Bahamas or to wherever it is.
Yes, of course. Yes, and that is that is one of the principal reasons why I have an interest in forming this organization, because we want to lobby for Caribbean farmers, right?
Exactly.
For example, if there's a shortage of an item in Jamaica, we must be in a position to say, okay, that is in Montserrat. Our farmers in Bahamas, our farmers in Barbados have that. Let them supply it, right? That is what we want. We want the Caribbean farmers to trade, increase the trading within CARICOM. We are not saying that you are just going to concentrate on CARICOM. We just want to know that you are taking advantage of what exists on your doorstep. Because, yes, we are one group of people, and that is what we must do. So, let us see what is going to happen. We have to brace ourselves for the results, the consequences of this war, and we know it is going to be negative on our farmers. We know that it's going to be negative, and so we have to just brace up.
On our farmers and on all of us.
All of us. Certainly, because in Jamaica, I start feeling the impact of it, because the price of my electricity has gone up, right? And the price of gas increased yesterday again. So this is about the fourth or fifth week that the price of gasoline keeps going up. So we know.
Yeah, and the tractors have to use a lot of that.
Yes.
Exactly. So you get it from all angles, not just the inputs.
Yes.
Not only the inputs. That's right.
Right.
So
it is.
But you notice, Maureen, we have not had any public commentary from our policy leaders on what is supposed to happen to us now that we have this changing in the world affairs.
Exactly.
Some of our some of our leaders still think that there's somebody in the US that really cares about us and that they will see about us. Huh?
I can't believe that. You know.
I didn't call names. I've just said something, sir.
Yeah, I heard what you said. I heard what you said.
Yeah.
You know. Well,
yeah.
Listen, we have exhausted our time for today, so want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. And as Sister Maureen mentioned, that we are going to activate that new strategy starting next week. So
yes.
We'll keep you abreast. Yeah. We'll keep you abreast of what is taking place. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies. I'll take care and have a blessed evening.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Remember goat milk.
Bye, now.
Okay, that was food security. Yes. And let's go for a break. Coming up next is Eyes on the World. Let's take a break.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and foam ply, water tanks, tubs, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bath tubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, insets and grills. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hamilton Road, telephone 93-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with your super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Imagine a world where information is power, where news meets insight. This is Eyes on the World, your personal lens. We are watching with you. Stay informed, stay curious, get the world's stories reported to you. Eyes on the World, your perspective.
Yes, welcome. It's time for your program. And, look at some of what has been happening around us. As I say repeatedly on this program that, we are living in troubled times. Let's look at some of what has been happening.
I think that we are an incredibly ruthless country. The amount of murder and mayhem that we've created around the world is just unbelievable. I was looking at a study the other day put out by Lancet, which is a scientific journal, and they did a study. This was put out, you can see it on the internet, it was put out in November of 2025.
Josh, always great to be with you.
What the article did was it looked at sanctions, American sanctions, from 1971 to 2021, 1971 to 2021. And it asked what were the consequences of those sanctions, and we murdered 38.
Gqompho City non-profit organizations and residents in the Eastern Cape are expected to take to the streets to demonstrate their disapproval of the violation of South Africa's sovereignty. This follows the coronation of a Nigerian man, Solomon Ogbono Eziko, a Nigerian Igbo king in the city. For more on the story, let's get the details from SABC News reporter Sidima Mfeko. Sidima, talk to us about what's going on with the story.
Well, a very good morning to you, Leanne, and to SABC viewers at home. What I can tell you is that marshals are ready, and the leaders of this march, they are on standby. This march is expected to begin exactly at 10 a.m. this morning. We understand that people from different parts of the Eastern Cape, some from outside the Eastern Cape even, yesterday we got wind that the likes of Ngizwe Mchunu are expected to join this march. So I can tell you now that the streets of East London are going to be packed with people who are concerned about this particular situation. But let me speak to one of the leaders of this march, Prince Abongile Ngozi, who's going to tell us about the reasons for doing this. Why have you taken upon yourselves to come here and demonstrate?
Good morning, sir, and good morning to all the SABC listeners. I'm here with the brother of the king of Amakhabe. This is Chief Zanokulunge Sasandile. He is the brother to the king. I'm sure even the presence of a senior royal such as himself so early in the morning should tell you that there is a general unhappiness about how these people are conducting themselves and how they are continuing to disrespect the laws and rules of this country, doing everything in their power to destroy the moral fiber of our society. We all know what these people are notorious for, they are nefarious for. And now that they have realized that they've been able to dampen society and our children are into all sorts of social ills because of what these people bring here, they are now taking it a further step by attempting to desecrate an age-old and sacred institution such as royal leadership. And we cannot continue to stand by and sit idly while they do these kinds of things. They are here illegally, they are doing nonsensical things. We are saying it's more than enough now. The law enforcement needs to work harder, hand in hand with ourselves, to verify the status of these people. But these people can just go home and come back legally if they must come back.
What is expected to happen today?
Today we are gathering here at the Baby Lee Jegels Recreational Park. We are waiting for people to arrive, buses and taxis. We are going to embark on a peaceful march from here when we've gathered from about 10 o'clock to the seat of power of the Buffalo City Municipality, where we are anticipating the mayor, Ms. Princess Fago, or a delegated representative of hers, to receive a list of demands of things we expect government to assist us with doing.
Right, thank you so much for your time. That's Mr. Prince Abongile Ngozi, who's telling us that what they're going to actually be doing today. So they're going to be delivering their memorandum of demands to the Buffalo City Metro, either Princess Fago, who's the executive mayor, or anyone else who may be delegated from the office of the mayor.
I do want to bring in Javed Ali, Associate Professor of Practice with the University of Michigan's Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy. He's worked at the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Department of Homeland Security, and the FBI. Joining us now live. And Javed, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and breaking down the operation as a whole.
Josh, always great to be with you. Thank you.
And first off, Javed, I did want to talk to you about some of the information that we've received so far, because we are more than a month into this operation. This is month 2 of Operation Epic Fury. Does it appear that there is any end in sight at this point?
Josh, right now it would appear that both the U.S. and Israel and Iran on the other side have dug in for this protracted fight. And whatever the calculus was at the beginning of February 28th in those first few days, if not first week, whatever the thought was that the regime would collapse or the IRGC would somehow be so degraded militarily that it wouldn't be combat effective as an organization. Well, that hasn't happened. Now, doesn't mean that the U.S. and Israeli campaign has not delivered significant effects against Iran. Clearly, it has over 10,000 airstrikes to date, and that number is probably growing by the day. But at the same time, as we all know, the regime is still intact, even though there are different people now in different leadership positions in Iran. The IRGC continues to have a supply of ballistic missiles and drones and other capabilities that one would have thought this far into the campaign that those capabilities would have been significantly degraded, or Iran had depleted the inventory of those weapons. And then the closing of the Straits of Hormuz, or the controlling the access in and out of the Straits of Hormuz. These are all things that 5 weeks in make it really difficult to assess what the next 5 weeks are going to look like.
And Javed, I wanted to show you this video right here. You may have already seen it, but it's coming in from Truth Social. I've talked about it throughout the morning, as this is an explosion there from the U.S. strikes that took place. This is right outside of Isfahan. Can you explain to folks out there the significance of that? Because we know there's uranium enrichment site there in that location, and this appears to be a massive explosion.
So going back to last summer, if your viewers remember, when the U.S. Launched Operation Midnight Hammer, that was the more limited operation to hit basically the crown jewels of Iran's nuclear program, the 3 different facilities at Isfahan, Fordow, and Natanz, all involved in some aspect of either enriching uranium, storing uranium, other aspects of the nuclear fuel cycle. And I'm not a nuclear scientist, but those were significant operations last year. And here we are 9 months later, and we're seeing both the U.S. and Israel again attack the same sites. Now, whether they're precisely targeting the same locations that they did last summer, unclear. But we don't know the state of Iran's nuclear program, either in the 3 locations that were already struck going back to last year, or even what effects have been delivered now. And Josh, you mentioned one of the key issues apparently the Trump administration is wrestling with is what to do with the roughly 1,000 pounds of highly enriched uranium that Iranians probably still possess based on previous international inspections of their nuclear program. And that's the nuclear material that theoretically could be used to produce a nuclear weapon, even though it doesn't seem like Iran was there even before February 28th. So whether through airstrikes, whether through potential ground operations, and we've all seen the media reporting about what might be being prepared for ground operations against these nuclear facilities to try to locate the highly enriched uranium and either destroy it or bring it out or transport it. These are all things that are going to be another critical aspect of the campaign as it goes forward.
And I'm going to pop this up on your screen as well. This is actually an image that is coming in from the Associated Press at this hour. And what you're looking at is a live look just east of Havana there in Cuba, as we're told that a Russian oil tanker is expected to arrive, and that tanker bringing 730,000 barrels of crude oil. It's the first shipment like this to the island since January of 2026. What does that say to you overall? Is there any kind of connection here as far as the fact that the Russian oil tanker was able to get through and head to that area?
Well, I'm not only am I not a nuclear scientist, I'm not an expert on the oil and gas industry, but my understanding of, based on everything that is happening with the war in Iran and Iran sort of tightening the grip on the transit of oil and gas products from the Persian Gulf to the rest of the world, that one of the things the Trump administration has done is allowed Russia to transport oil to other countries that were suffering a deficit based on what was going on, or what's going on with the war in Iran. Now, I don't think Russian transports to Cuba wasn't getting oil and gas from Iran, but the issue that I think the bigger issue is that Russia is now benefiting from this war in Iran because sanctions have been lifted. Their ships are able to take Russian oil to these different parts of the world, probably to include Cuba. So this is a secondary impact of the war in Iran. And again, I don't know if the administration thought this through, that a month into the campaign, that pressure on Russia because of what's going on in Ukraine would somehow be lessened to help deal with the global crunch of oil supplies.
Also important to note here, the Associated Press is saying that several Gulf Arab nations, the allies of the U.S., we're talking Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, a few of them there are secretly, privately urging President Trump and the U.S. to continue the operation to essentially weaken Iran even further, saying that it hasn't been weakened enough. So what do you make of that? Again, that's according to the Associated Press reporting that via sources.
Yeah, that's another interesting aspect of this. And it's unclear how unified the Gulf countries are, either through the framework of the Gulf Cooperation Council or just bilaterally between their their conversations with the United States. So this is something the Gulf countries are going to have to think through, because if they are privately telegraphing to the United States that they do want the campaign to continue, there's going to be a direct cost to them because Iran will continue to attack them, which they have over the past several weeks. And also Iran is trying to impact the Gulf countries' oil and gas sectors and industry as well. So this is something the Gulf countries are going to have to think about. But if they're willing to accept these short-term risks and short-term consequences, then I would have to think that the end state that would be acceptable for the Gulf countries is a regime in Iran that is completely different than the one in power now, which you do not have the hardline clerics, you do not have the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, you have a different leadership structure altogether in Iran that is more, or certainly less hostile to the region, because if the regime is still in place weeks from now or months from now, even battered and bruised and far less military capability and economic clout than it had before, it's still going to be a threat to the Gulf countries. And they are going to remember the fact that the Gulf countries, were advocating for the military campaign to continue. So these are all really important dynamics that are going to play out in the region.
Kind of going in reverse a little bit after President Trump posted, I believe it was a little more than 24 hours ago, essentially saying that if a deal is not reached shortly with Iran, that there would be potential attacks there on some of the energy infrastructure in Iran. What would be the implications of that? What could actually happen as a result of that if that were to move forward and actually happen?
Right. So we've seen over the past week or so, President Trump sort of issue these threats and sort of pull back, or at least say that I'm going to push the timeline for potentially escalating the campaign against Iran's energy infrastructure, oil and gas infrastructure. So we haven't seen the military carry through or sort of execute against that order. But I would have to think they're probably preparing for that if President Trump delivers the order for them to do it. And yet at the same time, on the diplomacy side, the Iranians continue to say that whatever plan was passed to them via Pakistan or other intermediaries, it's unacceptable to them. Now, that's what they're saying publicly. Privately, is there a different conversation going on or different perception of that deal from the U.S.? Hard to know. And also, there's media reporting that it's because of the leadership strikes or strikes against the leadership in Iran. It's unclear who's actually going in charge of the diplomatic track, and how are they coordinating all of that with the IRGC and other aspects. So it's not clear whether diplomacy will actually or deliver the results, and if not, will President Trump order these strikes, which would be a clear escalation of the campaign? And then how would Iran respond to that as well? They could make things even worse than they are already. So these are all other aspects of just the next few days in terms of what's going to happen.
You and I have discussed over the past several weeks and really months here about public hangings, public executions. And we learned just within the last 24 hours of 2 more people from an exile group, as they're called, being hanged. They were killed there, and we know that there were others as well that have been hanged. So what does that kind of tell President Trump about where to move forward? Because he mentioned months ago that if the protesters were executed, especially if they were publicly executed, that things would kind of ramp up. We are already obviously in the middle of a war, a conflict there that's happening, but could that escalate things even further?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's terrible, but I'm not sure that these public executions are going to really move the needle from the U.S. perspective, because, as you said, we're already in the middle of a war with Iran. But I do, on the flip side, I do think it shows that on the Iranian regime side that they have hunkered down. They are trying to survive this campaign. They are trying to maintain as much control as they possibly can inside Iran. We have not seen the large-scale protests over the past several weeks that we did in January, and we all know what happened when those protests occurred. The Iranian regime turned its guns on its own people and killed thousands of them. And so I think this is the risk for the Iranian population. Even if they hate the regime, and most of the country does, and they want a different government in power, it is so dangerous for them to mobilize like they did in January, because the same thing would probably happen. And these public executions are just an example of the depths the regime is willing to go to send the message and show that they are still in power.
Popping this up on your screen, coming in from the Israel Defense Forces a short time ago. It says, exposed, Hezbollah has seized control of the Christian village and is launching terror attacks from within that village. Hezbollah has launched rockets and missiles, launches and anti-tank fire from inside the village, a repeated strategy that dangerously exploits civilians as human shields. What does that tell us? Again, this is just coming in from the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, as it relates to the Iran-backed Hezbollah group.
So unlike what happened to Iran last year with the 12-day war with Israel and then Operation Midnight Hammer, the U.S. strikes against the 3 nuclear facilities, what we're seeing now is the axis of resistance, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, Iraq, Shia militias in Iraq. They are now joining the fight in a way that they weren't able to do a year ago. And probably that's because they had been hit so hard by Israel in 2024 and then into last year as well. But they've had time to regroup and recover, and now seems like they are more willing to be much more confrontational and do the things that that you just described, or that post described. So we've seen Hezbollah over the past few weeks fire rockets and missiles at Israel. Israel's obviously expanded its campaign against Hezbollah in Lebanon. There's talk of the IDF sort of moving several miles into Lebanon and holding territory, which would be another risky proposition for the IDF. And now with the Houthis also getting involved, this shows that the axis of resistance, although much weaker than they were going back a few years ago, still have capability and probably are being directed by Iran, or at least encouraged by Iran to fight now versus the last couple of years.
All right, my last question for you always, what are we watching for? What are you going to be watching for as the hours, days, and potentially weeks kind of progress?
Well, circling back to one of the things we talked about a couple of minutes ago, it's going to be, will diplomacy lead to any sort of breakthrough, either on the 15-point plan or some other combination of issues that are going to be considered? Will the Iranian regime feel the fact that now is the time to make a deal because they are under so much pressure and have suffered so many losses and have gotten much weaker? Or do they think that they actually have the upper hand and they have more leverage? And the fact that they're putting all this pressure on the global economy, that's the sort of ace of the hole. So that's the thing I think we're all going to have to watch and see. And if diplomacy doesn't deliver any results, then will President Trump follow through on these threats and target Iran's energy infrastructure and oil and gas, or send in the Marines to seize Karg Island? And if that happens, then I think things will escalate even further.
All right, Javed Ali, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and helping to break it down. A lot of topics there discussed. Anything else that you want to make sure to add here that we may have missed before I let you go?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground today, Josh, and we're all just going to have to keep watching the news. So.
Yeah.
Okay, continuing to get updates on the war in the Middle East. President Trump, by the way, going to be giving a primetime address to the nation tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. No doubt that will be a major event, and it's something that we're going to have to track closely to see what direction this war is headed in the immediate future. We did, by the way, get this in from Caroline Levitt saying that presidents will talk to the nation. It's going to be something that we plan to carry here live in full as soon as it begins. Something we have not been able to play on air yet tonight is Secretary Rubio. He posted a video on social media earlier today. Let's watch.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain. Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it, and that is you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare, and they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons, and every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them, and they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build, and the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
The White House sending that statement out earlier today, a live look at the White House, the time in the nation's capital, about 9:10 in the nation's capital. So what we're going to do next is we're going to discuss the latest on the Middle East. As I mentioned, major update tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. President Trump going to be addressing the nation on the direction of the war in the Middle East. We do have here standing by David Daoud. He's a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He's here with us to discuss the latest on Iran and the latest on Lebanon and Hezbollah as well. David, I got to start by asking about this major address tomorrow. When you hear that the president is going to be addressing the nation in prime time, you typically assume that we're going to hear something big. What does your gut tell you? What direction do we think the White House is going to be announcing this conflict is going in tomorrow night?
Well, it's always a pleasure to be on. Well, given the direction of President Trump's statements recently, including today where he said that operations could be concluded in Iran within 2 to 3 weeks, if I'm recalling correctly, I think it's going to be something in that vein, kind of a not quite a mission accomplished speech with all the negative connotations that we have of that. From Iraq, but basically that we've accomplished the goal. We've degraded the military assets, both conventional and non-conventional, of Iran's that we intended to, and that perhaps there's been some kind of breakthrough when it comes to the negotiations that have supposedly been ongoing between the United States and Iran. I mean, there could be a surprise. It's always possible. President Trump likes to kind of come out of left field sometimes. It's not the first time he's kind of entertained negotiations and then gone towards, escalation. But my sense is that based on his statements, the direction of his statements over the past few weeks, especially if we go back to when he landed in Tennessee a couple of weeks ago, I mean, he's basically even said the regime has been changed just because there's been a change of leadership. So he's effectively saying regime change has been accomplished. And I imagine he may say something similar about the military assets that we were pursuing.
So from your perspective, it doesn't feel quite as likely that we might see the president addressing the nation tomorrow because he's going to announce that perhaps the U.S. wants to put boots on the ground or perhaps look at military action or extra military action on some of those islands around the Strait of Hormuz. There's also the question about going in, boots on the ground, to ensure that they can get rid of any materials that could lead to a nuclear-armed Iran. So as things stand here tonight, it feels like it's unlikely that the war might go in that direction.
Look, I mean, President Trump, he came in on a promise of no forever wars, as they were called in the Middle East, no new wars. He has midterms coming up. This is all going to impact his bottom line, especially since the Straits of Hormuz closure is impacting oil prices. I think, if there is some kind of boots on the ground operation, I could see something that's more limited, perhaps a special forces incursion. That could be something that he announces has already occurred after the fact. Perhaps we sent in troops who took out some of Iran's uranium, enriched uranium, and destroyed it, rather than.
Okay. Yes. So there you saw some of what is happening around the world. Yes. We are going to go over now to the Middle East. Yes. And as you know, the people in Gaza, not very much, all of the attention has been taken away from them. But we know that they are still suffering. I have with me Aleme Ayobe. Aleme, good evening to you.
Good evening, Desmond. Thank you again for having me.
Yes, yes. And, what is the latest with the people in Gaza? How are things going?
Well, I have to say that coincidentally, as we speak right now, last night and throughout the day today, there were still bombing happening, more than has been recently. We've said for since the ceasefire, the so-called ceasefire, has been in effect, that there has been no real ceasefire. But yesterday, last night, and tonight, they have picked up the aggressive action in Gaza. There has been artillery shelling, helicopters shooting at people. There have been airstrikes. So in the past 2 nights, they have been ramping up their attacks more than they have in the past months after this ceasefire. And so there's a lot of concern, of course, with just the situation in general. And as you said, people are not paying attention anymore. So, there have been, recently in the news, not the mainstream media, of course, because they will not show you these kinds of news. But on March 31st, the Knesset, the Israeli government, has voted into law that the death penalty for Palestinian prisoners. And this is also, it must be stated that it is only solely for Palestinian prisoners. So this death penalty is not in effect for any other prisoners, not Israeli prisoners, only Palestinian prisoners. So a lot of human rights organizations and people in general, people around the world have been, screaming and standing up against this. There have been marches and protests against this because it is apartheid. Yeah, you cannot. And of course, we know that in Israel there is no fair trial for Palestinian prisoners. So there is a lot of concern about the developments in Palestine in general and in Gaza specifically.
Yes, yes. And so, is there any? What are the Israelis bombing? They are bombing Hezbollah. Who are they bombing? They are just dropping bombs on civilians.
Okay, so there is, of course, in Lebanon, now that you mention it, Desmond, as a Lebanese, I also have to, mention that they have been doing in Lebanon, in South Lebanon, in Beirut suburbs, but Beirut in general, they have been doing the same tactics that they have been doing in Gaza, bombing indiscriminately civilian buildings, infrastructures. So that's separate from Gaza, that's Lebanon. The past month, they bombed all the bridges that connect the south to the other parts of Lebanon. So across the Litani River because their goal is to annex South Lebanon, as their intention has always been to annex the southern part of Lebanon and just, go and take it. It's a land grab. They want to take southern Lebanon just like they do other parts of the Middle East and call it a part of their greater Israel plan. So this has always been their plan. They in the past, maybe they may have been, quiet about it or secretive about it. Now they openly say what their plans are. And they claim that it's because of Hezbollah, but it's not, because everything they're bombing is civilian infrastructure. There's more than 1 million displaced Lebanese people that had to flee to the northern parts of Lebanon. And they are continuously bombing southern Lebanon as well. But in Gaza, they continue bombing the same places they have always bombed: displacement tents, refugee camps, buildings, demolishing homes. So this is something that they have done for, more than 2 years already, and they continue to do so, Desmond. So that's the reality of it.
Yes, and as it relates to the aid to Gaza, have they allowed more aid in terms of the necessary items, medicine and food? Have they allowed that?
No, the crossing is still closed. Unfortunately, there is concern about a famine again. Families are not getting enough. There's not enough aid coming in for them to purchase food. So a lot of people are starving again. A lot of people are malnourished, and this leads to other medical situations as well. So no, there is still no medical aid is not allowed to enter either. If it enters, it's minimal for the amount of people that need these important, food and medical aid.
Yes, and I know that they had prevented shelter from going in. That is still the case.
What is it? Shelter?
Yes.
Yes, the other day it came out in the news that unfortunately, when you have a lack of, completely collapsed infrastructure, you have situations where pests, rats, all these kinds of unhygienic situations occur when you don't have proper resources and infrastructure. So the other day there was in the news that a baby had, his face was full of bites from a rat because they live in tents that are not proper for housing and protecting them and shielding them from the elements, the weather, but also from pests like rats and all sorts of other diseases. So they still don't have proper shelter. No, the tents that they are using are not adequate for proper living. So these things keep occurring, unfortunately.
Yes. And as you mentioned, I know that people are still having difficulties accessing medical supplies and treatment. So
yes, and they don't allow people to leave. The agreement was, when they opened the Rafah border crossing, that people who need urgent medical care can leave through the border to go to Egypt and get proper care. But again, this has been limited and they have not been upholding their part of the agreement. So people who need urgent care, any sort of chronic diseases or diseases that cannot be, helped in the current hospitals with the lack of supplies that they have, they just simply do not allow them. There was another case of a young man who had to leave. He had to leave for medical treatment, and unfortunately he passed away because they didn't let him leave on time. So these things keep occurring. The genocide continues. It just continues in small parts and very, very slowly.
Wow. That situation in Gaza, Amelie, sounds disastrous.
It is disastrous, and the people are tired. Imagine having to live through this for 2 years already, and they do the best that they can. They're very resilient. They try to adapt, but it gets to a point where life just becomes too much, and it's exhausting having to just struggle to get water so your family can wash themselves, or for cooking. You can't just have running water at your house in the night. there's still no electricity, so as soon as the nightfall, as soon as the sun sets, it's completely dark. There was a Google map the other day that you could see Gaza before the genocide in Gaza now, where it's completely pitch dark. People don't have, those who are fortunate enough to have small batteries that, solar powered lamps can use that, but that's all they have to illuminate. So imagine living 2.5 years in complete darkness when the sun sets, not having access to water easily, and just, living in buildings that are not safe, or living in displacement tents that are not proper, and having to, I have friends telling me that they're afraid to sleep at night because they're worried that stray dogs or rats will come into their tents and, attack their children. These are, things that should not be happening anymore, especially if supposedly there was a ceasefire agreement. But it seems like time has frozen still, and it only gets worse because, these situations just get worse as the time passes. Diseases spread. A famine is returning, so it's catastrophic.
Yes, and schools are. I can imagine that most schools are still closed, so children are not going to school.
Yes, No, they're not. But as I said, there are people who, out of the goodness of their hearts, they try to open makeshift schools. I told you about my friend. I told you I would send you the link, and I think I forgot. But the name of her school is Amal Mustaqbal, and the teacher's name is Mona, and she opened a school. It started off in a tent where she would just have various friends of hers who are teachers try to teach the children and offer them, psychological support and emotional support. And then slowly with donations from people, she found a building where she could house her school. So now she has an actual room where she can teach kids, and they take lessons, and they offer them support to try to overcome, the trauma that they have been going through. But of course, it's not throughout all of Gaza. I'm mentioning one school. I think maybe there are small schools in different areas to try to give kids a sense of normalcy, after everything they've been through.
Wow. Boy, it is really, really terrible. Hospitals are smashed. People can't access medical care. Food is scarce.
Yeah.
Water is scarce. It is really, really, really problematic for the people in Gaza. And
yes, and the continuous bombing and shelling, and so that continues as well. Yes. So they not only do they have to live in situations, but they cannot even have a moment of respite or a moment where they say they can breathe because they're not scared that the next moment there will be a bomb near their house. Or no, they still have to live through these conditions and still have to worry about shelling and bombing.
Yes, and those groups, the NGOs that were Israel had announced that they must provide them with information, or they would stop. They would have to leave.
The MSF, yeah.
Yes. That continues.
I believe I haven't looked up recently any updates on that, but I believe that most of them have left. But I would need to get that information for you for the next time, because I haven't caught up recently with the updates on whether they left or not. Yes. That particular Doctors Without Borders, I have to check that for you.
Okay, yes. So as we speak, Amelie, the situation is still very depressing. And I can.
It is, and and it keeps spreading to areas around the Middle East. What's happening in Iran as well, and what's happening in Lebanon. So instead of things getting better, they just keep getting worse.
Yes. People, as you said, are starving because food. They're having problems accessing food, medicine, shelter.
Yes. Formula, baby formula, yeah.
Yes. So we can expect that more people are going to die for hunger and for lack of medical care. We can expect that. Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. Well, we have to leave it there for today, Amelie, but you know we have to continue. You take care. And
thank you, Desmond. Thank you for always inviting me into your program so I can give an update. Thank you so much for always raising awareness of what's happening, not just in Gaza, but in Middle East in general.
Thank you very much, Aleme.
Thank you, Desmond.
Yes, that was Aleme Ayobe there, keeping us informed about what is happening in the Middle East, in Gaza. Well, that's the end of Eyes on the World for today. But as you know, on Wednesdays at 5, this is where we show you some of what is happening around the world.
Imagine a world where information is power, where news meets insight. This is Eyes on the World, your personal lens. We are watching with you. Stay informed, stay curious, get the world's stories reported to you. Eyes on the World, your perspective.
Let us get into it immediately. Welcome to the midweek roundup in the world of sports and entertainment on this short program, which ends today's program. And you know, the thing that has been in the ear and on social media, of course, of that qualification with the Reggae Boys, that match they played against Dr. Congo, DR Congo. Yes, in Mexico, and lost in extra time 1-0. But when I look at the match, you know, watching it on television and on my phone, you know, it just shows that the boys weren't hungry. They were just intimidated, like they didn't have the confidence. They didn't play to their potential. Yes, they just got through the norm. And there was no care for the fans, well, the thousands of fans who have been watching them to have hope for them to go to the World Cup, and it just fizzled. And well, look, the Congo team, they played well in spurts and, you know, passing the ball, but Jamaica don't put anything together and threaten in the 6 yard, not that much. And the changes that were done in the second, if it was just everything didn't just work out against the boys. They fell below expectation. They played below their potential. Yes, man. Head coach Speed said he tried his best. Right? After Jamaica went down 1-0 in extra time to the Democratic Republic of Congo in yesterday's intercontinental playoff final for a place in the 2020. The boys produced one of their best displays in recent months in the Estadio Akron in Guadalajara, Mexico. but it appeared to wilt in extra time when the pre-match favorites DR Congo stormed towards and take full advantage of Axel Turnsby, a 28-year-old former Manchester United defender, turned home from a corner in first half extra time for the game's only goal to secure Dr. Congo's second World Cup experience in 52 years. Wow, that's long. All right, it's a hard swallow. I don't know what's they're going. I know that there are going to be some shake-up at the JFF, yeah, and a lot of things. And this was what's supposed to spearhead all other programs with the Jamaica Football Federation. But see there, it's gone back to square zero. Not even square one, square zero. There's nothing. The only thing Jamaica have left to salvage is that they have the girls, yes, and they are looking forward to their second consecutive berth in the World Cup. And it's the only thing you can talk about, the girl, Bonnie Shaw and the other ladies. I know that they're going to really be a handful for those in the region, and that they are going to make it to the next staging of the World Cup. All right, so they're licking their wounds and so much to talk about, and what is the next move. And still people are saying that Speed made a mistake by leaving two of our best players in Dixon and, of course, Dujan Whisper Richards, and they are going to continue saying that they had needed him and they didn't call up any he or Dixon of the two to play in the match. Anyway, yes, it's done and gone. Jamaica out there will watch the World Cup on their TV and hope, see who is the best team coming out of that. And it all depends on what's happening in the world now, because the matches are in the USA, yes, and what is taking place with them and Iran and what's happening in the world. Don't know what is going to happen, because the match in Canada and Mexico, that is there, but USA who have most of the match, and their restrictions to people who are coming in the USA. The USA are not letting up, so I don't know what's going to happen, if there's any decision with FIFA and the Trump administration. We don't know. We just have to wait and see as the World Cup unfolds in about 4 months' time. About that? 4 months' time or 2 months' time, I should say. 3 months' time, right. So let's wait and see. I just wanted us to reach out to friends on the live. Charmaine the nurse, yeah, just hailing you up right here on Rebel Radio, and looking forward, because the anniversary show is coming up. And of course, DJ Foxy Brown, hi, hope you are recovering. I'm all the way in London. I know it's late in there now, Foxy Brown, and yeah, I know that you're still doing your thing on your program, and I just wanted us to reach out right here. And of course, Coney Conception Espinosa in Philippines, yes, I know it's all your time early in the morning, and everyone that's reaching out. I don't have much time, so I'm just get into some music. Yes, there's one that tell you about what's happening in the world. I want to just take in this from the man named called Super Cat. Yeah, man, Super Cat, man. I tell you about, back in the days, and telling all about what's happening in the world through his music, and so that the world is under pressure, and the leaders of the world them fighting for power. Yes, Super Cat.
The world looks like we can't take fuss and fights. The black, purple, blue, and white, let's get together on no night. Oh, you mean? Easy, Miss, I got you on the dance. Yes, easy, Miss, I got you on the dance. Yes, me going to sting them like a beast and bite them like a scorpion. Anywhere me pass, so me on the mind position. Me call him on the first of the world, on the first of the world, on the first of the world.
Them time that was Reagan and, right, the leaders of the world, Gaddafi. Now it's Trump and Iran.
Under pressure, under pressure, the world under pressure. So the leaders of the world and them a fight power. And one of them a say him control America. The next one a say him rule in Russia. And one of them a say him control China. The next one a say him control Cuba. One a rule in Uganda. But the second shot a bust up in a Nicaragua. And every day they get up to the like a gorilla. Gaddafi and the leader, Mr. Libya. Him afraid of Ronald Reagan who a run America. Cause if them start the war up here, nuclear power. But every day them get up fighting like a gorilla. And fighting for the world we controlled by Jaja. But me ask you a question, me want to answer. Say where is the throne of Alyssa Mama? Me say the Africa, the winner is Ethiopia.
DJ Kingsley JJ.
What a way they don't give it to a prime minister. I give a president or a hero leader. If a guy touch this one, just set him soul on fire. Come and take it from the captive beer back, right? Now we call it under pressure the world, under pressure the mother, under pressure the world, under pressure the father, under pressure the world, under pressure the person, under pressure the world, under pressure. So the leaders of the world and they are fighting for power. And every day they get up living like a gorilla. I say millionaires spend up on the nuclear power. And all over the world, poor people are suffer. But the way them don't take them on the field sufferer. Come take it from the cat, the beer back rider. You know here we are going up in South Africa. Poor people was killed by fly and mosquito. And I listen, it's a cat and murder, me charge. We say Africa, the land of the black structure. But the white man invade and rip off the silver. Yes, we take off the gold and make up a bandala. And every day them have the black man under pressure. Under pressure the world, under pressure the mother. Under pressure the world, under pressure, yes. Under pressure the world, under pressure. We say we do bad. We do bad. Is it Mr. Cat you want it done? Lord, is it Mr. Cat you want it done? Somebody call it under pressure the world, under pressure the friend, under pressure the world, under pressure. Yes, them lock off the light and lock off the water. Living like with them say me can't find a dollar. Cause me can't get a work to make some $20. Now me a go feed me to baby mother. Wanna pressure job.
Yeah, man, I see me
DJ Kingsley JJ.
But where is all nice and these celebrity crew?
Yeah, man, I'm going to close off with the one every Ninja Man and thing that Stuart cover me. And I also want to tell you that, you know, we're going to have more of the old school juggling. Yes, the more of it on a segment. I'm going to continue this leading straight up to the anniversary show on Friday, the 1st of May. Yes, because I know there have a lot of artists like Little John and, you know, a whole heap of others, in Steve Tuller, you name it, the veterans, I'm going to tell you more of them, all who is on this show. So, yeah, we're just going to do that and continue it on Friday. So, it's a wet time. Just be careful on the road, especially in this rainy time now, because the season is what's happening now in Jamaica. So, take care until we say, I'm going to leave with this music with the man called Ninja Man, the Dan Gargan. Yes.
For this things on the positive. Once again, for me, think God, you get the first leg. Cover me, cover me. Spread your precious love all over me. Can't you see?
DJ Kingsley JJ.
Baby girl, hide me. Where no harm and love can find me. Oh, I'm feeling cold. I need you so. Cover me. Young man, be more under your love. Under your love. No one is a thing that me say. Under your love. Under your love. Under your love. No one is a thing that me say. Under your love. I spent my life trying Everybody needs some.
Oh, so rising higher, higher. There's magic everywhere.
The expectation of a nation's like music to the air. We're singing a brand new song, marching to a brand new.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagley Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!